Tenbo asks, where did you meet all the special guests and friends on your channel? Great question. So where do I start here? I guess I'll start probably with my wife Rebecca, also Drunken Master Paul, and Josh the Big JB. We all met at Sierra, working at Sierra Online in the 90s, and we've stayed great friends that entire time. But also bigger than that, I've actually stayed friends with a lot of people from Sierra because it was such a great time and such an amazing game company to work for. And so even though I've only had those people on my channel so far, we occasionally will have get-togethers, or I follow them on Facebook and stalk them that way. But yeah, such an amazing time. So that's where I met Rebecca, Josh, and Paul. Let's see, Kinsey I met because she was the manager of a local retro gaming store called Another Castle up in Edmonds. She was a manager there, and every time I went in there and I had a question or just wanted to talk about video games, she was always at the counter and so cool. And more than that, actually, I was going to some of the expos and I kept running into her, and one day I was just like, man, I should have Kinsey on the channel. She knows so much, she's so cool. And so I asked her and she was thrilled to do it, so I've been very lucky to have her on the channel. Reggie I met in a very similar way. Reggie and also Emilio. Emilio is the guy who found the really rare orange Xbox. Emilio opened a little retro store in Burien called D-Pad, and then Reggie was his friend and helped him kind of run that place. And I'll never forget the first time I tried to find their store. It was such a small store that I literally drove by it twice before I actually found it. It was just this little tiny hole in the wall. But I went in there and you know, it's funny because I ran into Reggie first, I think, and he was just such an amazing presence, such a really cool guy, very helpful. Both of them immediately just wanted to help my YouTube channel. As a matter of fact, my really early videos where I have the Atari Jaguar and some of those other systems, they literally just said, take them. You know, just they loaned them to me and all of the games in their store just to do those videos. And I was just like blown away. I mean, here I am, this guy, they don't even know who I was. I probably had 2,000 subscribers. I was nothing. And they were like, take these consoles and these games and, you know, go do videos about them. I was just like, wow. But really, Reggie specifically, man, I knew there was something really cool about that guy. He's so passionate, you know. And so, you know, asked him to come on my channel, and the rest is history. And then who else is there? Oh, John Hancock. John Hancock I met at, I think it was the first Seattle Retro Gaming Expo, and he had a little table set up, and it was, again, it was just one of those moments where I walked up to his table, he was selling his DVD collections, and I struck up a conversation with him. And again, the passion just came through with the guy. He was so amazing to talk to. He knew so much, and after that I was like, dude, well, first of all, I found out that he has an amazing game collection. So I asked him, I'm like, dude, would you allow me to drive down to Longview, which is about 2 hours from here, and shoot your game collection and do some videos? And again, not knowing who I am, he said yes. So we actually have videos on my channel where Drunken Master Paul and I drive down. We do a road trip for the first time, and you see it. It was a pretty funny video because I didn't even bother to write down his address or anything. I'm just kind of scatterbrained that way. But anyways, and so he invited us down to his home and stayed the night and invited us into his game room. Such a great guy. What you see on camera is exactly what you get with John Hancock. Such a cool guy. Really thrilled to be friends with him. Anna is another story. Anna is somebody who I think I found out through YouTube, and I subscribed to her. And then I found out that she lives in northern Seattle. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool, you know? And just, you know, just kind of interacting with her that way. And then I found out that she is a badass heavy metal drummer. Actually, heavy metal's not the right term. She's a hardcore metal, death metal, double kick bass drummer. super awesome. And so at that point, I was on the All Gen Gamer podcast, and I reached out to her and I was like, hey, we're looking for special guests on our podcast. Will you come on and talk about video games and music and metal with me? And she did. And that's kind of where I got to know Anna a little bit. And then after that, I was like, dude, come on my YouTube channel. She has an amazing Saturn collection. And so that's kind of how that happened. And I always run into her at expos and stuff like that, so really cool. So that's kind of the people off the top of my tongue here, although I've actually had other people on here like Carlos and also Dave and some other people like that. But the thing I always look for is that I always look for people who are really passionate about what they're talking about. I very quickly learned that, you know, there are 40 plus years of video game collecting in history, and I can't know it all, and I don't want to pretend like I know it all. I'd much rather have other people who are passionate about games to come on and help me with my channel, and so far it's worked out really well. I just love being around other people who are passionate about this like I am, and so I've been very lucky that people have wanted to come on here and help me out with this, and it's just been a blessing and a pleasure. So that's some of the people and some of the history of my channel and the people who come on it. This question was asked by one of my Patreon contributors who also helps support my YouTube channel and videos. I want to thank you very much. In addition to being able to ask me questions like this in a private message board, you also get early access to all of my videos and some other really cool perks. If you're interested in checking that out, please go to patreon.com/MetalJesusRocks.